always looked at the two groups that of coming together of 5not10 and W2 as a working partnership, an extension of my internal team. One of the things that you guys sort of aligned to my way of thinking is a collaborative nature of best in practice. So obviously, English being the common language, sometimes there's not a clear divination between or divide between the US writers and what they're focusing on, and obviously the UK writers. Sometimes you have crossovers in certain publications, but also there's a narrative theme that is only prevalent in the UK versus always in the US. Having a team that understands that diversity and can also build a strategy, a campaign, a method of news dissemination is really important, because it alleviates some of the problems the in-house team have as well. So I think that best-in-class working partnership has allowed us to a very quick speed to delivery, that having separate organizations or indeed separate teams that are not used to working together adds extra layers of complexity to what we're trying to achieve. I think both agencies have two key things, apart from the people, that I always look for. The quality of writing at both 5not10 and W2 is absolutely exceptional. We talk a lot at the moment about AI and the tools that AI can bring, and there's also a massive backlash happening about that at the moment. You need human examples, you need depth of experience, especially in cyber, when the nuance of language is really important. The point of view of the business of my company is really unique, and you need someone to translate that into simplified, customer-focused language. AI is not always the best place for that. It's quite generic, it's loose, it doesn't always hit the mark and differentiate. W2 and 5not10 have been excellent understanders, not only our message, but also how to adapt that into so many different forms of content. So whether it's long form research reports that you guys have done for us, ghostwriting for executives, bylined articles, speech writing, even myself, I've had to create some things that I've struggled with. I'm too close to the story. I need a sort of cleaner, more sort of slightly removed eye. And I think both agencies have done that remarkably well and really understood the lens of how we're trying to communicate. So that's helped. But I think the other key thing is the depth of knowledge on this space. So obviously I work in cyber, and you guys look after lots and lots of different verticals, but your depth of knowledge in cybersecurity, particularly in the years you've worked in this space, the competitive landscape, the understanding of what journalists are looking for. I haven't come across many UK and US agencies that really have the depth of knowledge that you guys do. And it's really rare, because you don't want to spend 6 months ramping up. You don't want to spend ages and ages trying to train agencies. You want them to have a really good understanding of the landscape, and then just add your specific company viewpoint on top. And then you can get the ground running really quickly. And both W2 and 5not10 have always been down in the trenches, understanding this landscape, understanding what matters when news breaks, and understanding how to respond really quickly. And again, there are lots and lots of agencies around, but none with that deep technical knowledge and understanding of this space, as far as I can see. There is a like-minded approach to communications, and that's really important. We need to be of the same mindset, especially in the cyber world, which is very, very fast-paced. You have to make quick decisions, and you need that depth of experience. And I think working with both the W2 team that understand the landscape in the US more than any other agency I've ever worked with, but also the 5not10 team who understand the UK market the best I've ever seen, having that combination together and working closely with me in several roles I've had has allowed me some excellent results as a unit. It also allows us to think outside the box, because you bring to my team a day-to-day experience and frontline expertise that is hard to find elsewhere, quite frankly. And I think that combination of us all working together for the brilliant results that we've seen through this partnership is one of the strengths I've seen over the last 5 years. One of the critical elements from this partnership I'm going to be leveraging as we move forward is definitely from a planning perspective. Cybersecurity works in minutes and days. It's very, very fast paced. And sometimes you don't always have the full visibility of everything that's going on at any given time. So your extra ears and eyes out in the market really, really helps for this sort of global role that I do. But I think having you as a team together means that when I've got an idea or some crazy scheme that I want to try, I don't have to spend hours and hours thinking about every nuance. I can literally brief you, say, go away, think about it, come back to me in a week with a plan, a strategy. And you guys are so good at understanding the nuance of the lens that you're both individually operating in for your specific countries. But you're also really good at understanding my lens and what else I would have to consider for some of the other countries, whether it's Italy or Germany or even APJ. So I can sort of pass that responsibility over to you two as a group entity now, as well as independent, because you're used to working together. You know each other really well, even though you only, you're on either side of the ocean. And that helps me speed the delivery and execution of a lot of campaigns that we do. I would have to spend a lot more time briefing two independent agencies, and potentially also have to then sort of be the go-between to make sure that that relationship is working effectively, because a lot of people would play tag with client access, but I don't have to do that with you guys because you're so used to working together and you've made such a unique partnership. So that's been a huge opportunity for us, and I think many clients will benefit from that. I've worked with agencies that have the same brand on every single country, and delivered in some countries better than others. And I've also worked on worked with the independent model. The reason the independent model works for me personally is because there is a critical way of thinking when you're looking at individual country expertise. And so over the years we've worked together, you've had an understanding of the UK nuance and really what drives a lot of the publications and the sort of media coverage that you get in this country, in the UK. W2 have had a similar approach to the US market as well. And so I see a lot, even though you guys are independent and you have worked separately and together on many occasions, it's interesting that you have the same cultural feel, the type of people that you put on the accounts, that sort of can-do, proactive, engaged environment tends to be the ethos of both partner agencies, even though you're independent. And so actually, as an extension of my internal team, where we're all quite like-minded, has again created this environment where everyone can share ideas. No idea is too crazy. And it's a lightness of touch that I think allows people to bring their best selves to the role that they're playing for us as a client, but also they're nice people to engage with and to pick up the phone with and have that genuine understanding and excitement about coming to work each day. This is a really important point, actually, because it is unique to both agencies independently, but also as you come together in this more formal partnership for clients. I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and every single model has always been put forward by different agencies in lots and lots of different countries. You have juniors straight out of university learning the trade, and they're very valuable members of a wide team. But if you're looking for strategic partners, and often because I'm obviously in the UK, but I obviously have a global role, I need usually a base in international, usually in the UK for ease for me, but also someone in the US that understands the US market. So having those two teams is key. That partnership across the pond of UK and US is pretty vital for most organizations. But then the secondary lens is the seniority. From a strategic counsel perspective, both you and your other co-founder, Lindsay, and then equally Tony from W2, they know what it is to live my life every single day from a professional perspective. They know the challenges and the sort of things that I'm up against. And so there is a shared opportunity, not just to have some therapy with you guys and like rant and rave about how difficult my job is, but equally also you can sort of put yourself in my shoes and think about all the different stakeholders I'm dealing with. It's not just a media lens. It's also about what will happen from a go-to-market perspective. What do we need to do internally? What do we need to do with an analyst lens? What do we need to do for investor lenses? You can't buy that. You have to lived and breathed it for 20 plus years. And I think both W2 and 5not10, the entire model is very experienced people that understand the market, have lived and breathed the world of client engagement and worked on pitches. They have some experience under their belt and they can give really good counsel and can be that sounding board for senior leads who just need someone else to be there with them. So it's a lonely place sometimes running communications internally. So I think if I can pick up the phone to you or to Lindsay or to Tony or Steve at W2, it just helps me to to have another framework to listen to and some guidance on what else I might want to think about or what I might have missed in the moment. That's like priceless to me. Just that you can't buy that kind of engagement usually. I think you guys are exceptional at what you do. I have said this several times in the last year. I would not hire any other US or UK PR agency now. I'm at the tail end of my career. I'm coming to the sort of veteran stage, shall we say. I know what I need. I know how to deliver. And I look for partners that can work at the same pace as me. They have the same enjoyment and passion about the communications profession as I do. And I think it's interesting how we, as we look to evolve the landscape of communications as it is today and how it will naturally evolve over the next 3 years, it is becoming harder and harder to do the roles that I have done for my career. There's so much expectation on us. You need people that you're used to working with. And so I don't know if I'm instrumental in bringing this partnership together, but I definitely have helped encourage some thinking between the two teams that has benefited both the role that I do now, but the previous roles I've used you both in before. And I think that first introduction of when you met each other, it's sort of instilling a sort of, this is where we like working as an internal team, and it's given you guys ideas of what other clients potentially could look for. I'm not unique in what most in-house leaders look for, but I think as the nature of communications and its expectations evolve, you want those partnerships that are down in the trenches with you, and that's definitely this partnership for me.